Now, motorists are being warned their local councils could soon have the power to distribute fines of up to £130 for speeding. It comes as Wandsworth Council launches a pilot scheme next week in which drivers who go over the 20-mile-an-hour limit will be slapped with a £130 penalty, and the local borough will directly pocket the cash rather than it going into a central government pot. On the upside, the fines won't lead to points on your licence and you won't have to attend any speed awareness courses, luckily. But the AA is worried that if the scheme is rolled out across other local authorities, it could be used as fishing trips by cash-strapped councils, much like parking fines, in order to stuff their coffers. Personally, I think this is absolutely disgraceful. And if you think, actually, this is the first time that councils have just made a money grab for all people living anywhere near the council.
Well, exactly.
I mean, that's exactly what happened. I got done by Southwark Council for going the wrong way up a one-way street, not actually having seen the no entry sign because it was about 60 feet in the air. You know, you're driving and it was a street I didn't know, I wasn't familiar with. There was no sign. I appealed it. And basically, it took so long, I ended up just giving up and paying because in the end, they were like, well, you can't appeal, we've already made a judgment. And then eventually, the thing that did happen was they've actually brought the sign down. So now, when I see that street, I always remember they've brought the sign down to a height where...
You should have a little blue
I was going to see it. Light green.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's ludicrous, isn't it?
Worry of the
Because
people.
for a very long time, the whole thing about speeding is that everybody treats it differently. Every council treats it differently. There's some speed awareness courses in some counties. In other places, there aren't. There's some ability to appeal genuinely. Some of the money goes to the police in some parts of the country. Other places, it doesn't. It's all over the place.
But the whole point of all of these fines, whether it's a parking ticket or a speeding fine or a box junction, whatever it is it is meant to make the roads safer and run better. And yet the end result of so many of these fines is not that, whether it's clamping cars or giving parking tickets. They are exactly money-making machines for the local council.
I also think it's quite difficult. Sorry, I was just going to say that I think it's also that, well, there's two things. One is that really rich people will just go, I don't care, I'll just carry on speeding, I'll go in the bus thing, I'll nip round here.
That's a sweeping statement.
Not every rich person. I said that if you're rich, then you'll kind of, you'll maybe kind of think, it doesn't really matter. I'll nip round there because of this traffic jam, or I'll go a little bit faster because it doesn't really matter. It's only £135, although I think it's half, isn't it?
Yeah, it goes down to £60.
It goes to £60
if you pay early.
If you
give
I don't think anybody wants to give people that sort of money for a ridiculous reason like that.
But I think two things, yeah. One is that. But on the other hand, there is part of me thinks, actually, these councils are all strapped for cash. Councils up and down the country are strapped for cash, and they're the ones that do the things like cleaning the, bin lorries, for example. And I'm all for more cleaning.
Yeah, but why are they...
This is the bit I think is...
But why are they strapped for cash?
Well, I was going to say the thing that struck... Well, the thing that struck me today, they're very, very quick at putting up new speed cameras, aren't they, when they haven't got any money, but they don't resurface the roads, and that seems completely wrong to me. And the fact is you've got this preponderance, and it's so authoritarian now, I don't like it at all. And it's meant to change behaviour, and it doesn't.
Ooh.
Sorry, that was very aggressive.
I think it does change behaviour. Look at yours.
No, because it just frustrates me. The fact is
Lisa, would you like some counselling?
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what came over me there.
Scrappy-Doo over here in the corner.
But I think Penny is right, and particularly as we are about to probably enter another round of austerity. And remember, the last round of austerity was actually local government that had the biggest cuts. And it isn't just road resurfacing, it's child protection, it's like looking after old people that comes out of local government accounts. It's going to be a really tough time, and I think there probably is going to be a bit of local government using this to try and get
But let's also remember that a lot of local government and local councils have made parking almost impossible in lots of rural high streets, so the shops have suffered. People don't shop there anymore because they can't go without getting a parking ticket. And even if they're rich, they don't want to get a parking ticket just because they're shopping at their local shop.
I do think that is a good point.
I think that's
really
the point. And also,
point.
just when I was getting my dad out of hospital recently, you can't even get a car anywhere near the hospital, and it's ridiculous. You've got people who need wheelchairs and things like that. I mean, some of it has gone over the top. It's not practical, it's not sensible.
But certainly, sorry, I was just going to say, certainly to come back to Mike's point, I do think that they sort of, town centres, and when I say town centres, I don't mean massive, I don't mean city centres, but certainly town centres where it's actually quite difficult to get to, for example, with a local bus. If you've only got, I don't know, 2 local buses that come from the outlying areas, then why not 1 hour parking and employ lots of traffic wardens and actually make sure that it's only an hour? Because I do think it really helps. And, otherwise we're going to end up with devastated, well, we're already getting devastated towns, but, it would help.
Yeah, and in those towns, all you have is the big, huge supermarket on the outside of town, and that's where everybody goes.
And empty towns, empty villages as well.